Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Hello, good sir. How goes it on this beautiful Thursday, or so I think it is?
It is indeed a Thursday, and we are officially back. Zealeus survived his cruise to the Great North.
Indeed. You know the hardest, have you been on a cruise before?
I have.
The hardest part for me, especially as an adult, is the coming back and the striking realization of shit, I have to pay for things again.
Yep.
Like, it was very nice for 7 days to just food, booze, whatever it is. You don't care. And the food on most cruises I've been on, like, they're really, like, it's good food.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was good. I enjoyed myself. Definitely enjoy the catering aspect where you don't have to think about anything. Is nice.
Yeah.
It has its perks.
Very good.
But yes, I'm alive and well. I made it back. Yeah, here I am.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by a prolific commenter himself, Zealeus.
Greetings, good sir.
This is the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. This is a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or criticisms, or topics or opinions that you'd like to share with the class, all you got to do is drop it in the chat, and we will add it to the show. So without further ado, hello, Nunya Bidnez. So without further ado, let's get into some of, what is that, brandy? Zealeus, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking some scotch, not scotch, whiskey, some Four Roses whiskey.
There you go. I am not drinking booze. I am drinking, what do you call it? Liquid IV, because I just played a basketball game. That's why we're running a little bit late.
Whoa. Like, you don't drink booze after basketball games? Hold on here.
I usually drink beer, but seeing that we're doing a Thursday night hangout, I want to have, I wanted to be on top of my game and also not collapse because I have played 4 games in the past 24 hours. So,
maybe that sounds like some good medicine.
All right. Yeah. So let's, there you go. It's none of your biasness, to be clear, with sass. Okay. Anyway, so let's talk about the first topic, and the first topic is what was the score? We lost by 6, 59-53. Haha, I can do math. So let's talk about the first topic, and the first topic is that the official numbers for MomoCon, which of course was the big Atlanta event that happened over the Memorial Day weekend, has been released, and it is yet another record-breaking year, which of course, once again, so it was close to 60,000 people. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's now, like, I think above my comfort level. I think last year when I went, I think it was almost 50,000. I think it was like 48 something. I was feeling overwhelmed, and I don't think I would have survived MomoCon if I had gone this year.
Well, it's only going to get bigger from what I've been reading. All the news reports are it's going to get bigger as they take over more of the Georgia World Congress Center.
Yeah, no, that's their plan, is that they're just going to conquer all of A, B, and C, baby. Let's just do it. Let's do it all.
My biggest conundrum with that, one of the biggest complaints, because I go to Dragon Con every year,
yep.
And one of the biggest complaints is how packed the vendor hall gets. And it's not just the compactness, it's also the line aspect of it to get into it. And we saw that last year with only at 50,000 people, was the line at certain parts of the day got to be a bit ridiculous. I didn't go to MomoCon this year, but if it becomes more next year, you can only fit so many people into a space efficiently in a line.
Right.
And MomoCon, what it is, so it's a convention that started, I don't know when it started, years ago in Atlanta. It was actually an anime convention.
It was actually, it started on the campus of Georgia Tech. It was for anime lovers. It is now become like the sister convention to Dragon Con. I guess I don't know if it's official or still unofficial, or but anyways,
I think
it
it's like
was
the unofficial sister.
it was an anime convention. Now it's become more of like a general fandom convention. I mean, it's still heavy in the anime, but with you know, uh, but as time has progressed, they've added more video game stuff with a lot of Japanese flavor. I'm not going to lie. There's a ton of stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I think I might be done with MomoCon, especially trying to work MomoCon. If I do come back to MomoCon, I think that I don't know. I think just having a fan table would be overwhelming to me.
Yeah.
But I definitely can't do like the interviews and stuff. That vendor hall is way too expensive.
It's what Dragon Con is. Dragon Con's a 5-day actually convention in downtown Atlanta, where it actually takes place at the hotels, like the Marriott and the Sheratons. It's basically a big party.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolute chaos. I enjoy Dragon Con, but I actually prefer what it was. Now it's looking like past tense, the laid backness of MomoCon, because it was like a more chill version of Dragon Con. We're still a fandom, the fun. You went to panels, you did the convention hall, you checked out some stuff, some nerdy things, but like it was just chill. Like there was people there, but you didn't feel like you were going to be trampled at any time. I can only do that once a year. I don't need to do that multiple times a year. It's kind of how I feel.
I get
that
agree.
craziness in. After that might become a bit much. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, for me, I mean, we did MomoCon, or I did MomoCon. Oh gosh,
you did it for a couple of years with other guys before I came back to Atlanta.
Yeah, I think I've done 10 or 8 MomoCons. And I started when it was in a hotel, and then they switched over to like the smallest section of Georgia World Congress Center, and it's just, I love doing panels there. I mean, I don't know, maybe still be up for a panel at MomoCon, because that would actually be like the one thing that would drive me back to MomoCon, is that if I could get a panel there. And if the panel people actually email me and the emails don't bounce this time.
There aren't a lot of, even like Dragon Con where they have so many more panels, there aren't a lot of like just general video game panels. They're all super niche perspective of like this one little minutia detail of Final Fantasy we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. Well, that's true. There are some very niche panels that's like, let's talk about, what was it? Like this one episode from this one TV show that hasn't been around for 20 years and how it changed everyone's life. Although you've never seen it, but it changed your life.
Yeah. So I have mixed feelings. So like I'll already say, if I'm in town next year,
yeah,
I'll go to MomoCon. I have no problem going solo. And check it. It might even just be a Saturday batch at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'd still at least want to go one more time myself to figure out if it's become too much of a Dragon Con, where I'm like, because to me, one of the things I enjoy about MomoCon is being able to take a more relaxing perusal of the vendor hall.
Yeah.
Which you just can't do at Dragon Con.
No.
So that would be my thing. Like, how is that? And like we said, already last year, it was getting teetering to that point of not being possible. So I'd be curious to see how that goes.
I should reach out to some people that went to MomoCon and just see like how the traffic was going in and out of the vendor hall. Because I know last year it was a freaking nightmare. You had people passing out.
Well, yeah, because remember, you had that one little funnel that also then went past the wrestling ring, which was actually kind of a cool setup in a way.
Yeah.
Because you could be like, oh, there's like a wrestling match. But at the same time, it created like a crazy weird choke point.
Well, just to get into the vendor hall through the bottom level was nuts.
No, that was a terrible setup. I mean, of how they did that with the weird funneling to that last elevator or escalator. But I have no idea how it's set up this year, so maybe it was better. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be interesting if you knew anybody who went just to see from the logistical side how that was.
Right. Yeah. I'll tell you what though, I will be doing Chattacon next year.
Nice.
That's for sure. So at least I'll get
That's
that
one
one in. One of these days I'll go to Southern Fried Gaming because that's
one like in January, right?
Chattacon. Yeah, that's the one in January up in Chattanooga.
Yeah, that's why I can never go because it's right in the middle of robotics competition season.
It is. I mean, Chattacon to me is like the buddy. It's like the buddy convention where anyone and everyone is hanging out. You're the like the guest, the I guess like the literary guest of honor, the artist of honor, all that stuff. Everyone is just kind of chilling. So it's a lot of fun. All right. The next topic I've got is I pray that if anybody out there has pre-ordered the Switch 2, that they did not order it from a certain GameStop because this GameStop did a small little oopsie-daisy. And that is that with your Switch 2 pre-order, they stapled your pre-order receipt on the box. Now, apparently, these staples must be like industrial size staples, and they've punctured a lot of the screens for the Switch 2. So, congratulations, you have a marred Switch 2 if you pre-ordered it from GameStop.
Apparently, the Switch 2s are actually much more in stock than the Switch 1 was also.
Yes.
I'm reading lots of reports of people just walking into Targets and Walmarts and picking them up with no issue.
Yes. I'm trying to remember if there's a... Yeah, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I want to Switch 2, but I don't have the money for it right now. So hopefully Christmas...
I'm personally waiting for most likely, in a year or two, the OLED version to come out and just get that, honestly.
Yeah.
My biggest annoyance is actually so the current Switch 1 in the case, it fits perfectly in my travel backpack. There's a nice little salad pouch and literally another quarter of an inch it wouldn't fit. It's perfect for travel. At the new Switch 2, it's bigger, so it would not fit. So I'm it's perfect. I don't want something bigger because, yeah, I know that's the very definition of a first world issue, but I'm okay with that.
Also, apparently, if you were trying to get your Switch 2 through GameStop, they were trying to shove custom bundles down your throat.
Oh, of course.
Now, there's only one bundle, that official Nintendo bundle, and that one, of course, is the one that has Mario Kart World in it. But apparently, there's a lot of GameStops out there that were trying to do the Switch with a screen protector and a pre-order for an additional game. I believe it was Donkey Kong. Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Which I don't know how Nintendo would feel about that, but whatever. Yeah. But then again, I haven't bought anything. I don't think I've actually stepped foot inside a GameStop in maybe 13 years.
I honestly can't remember the last time I have myself because just haven't had a need to.
I've been to Walmarts, I've been to Targets, but I don't think I've been to a GameStop in 13 years. Probably easily 13 years.
Well, I don't think it helps that most of them are in malls, and since I don't really go to the mall anymore.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The last time I was in a mall, it was in a mall that basically, I think 3/4 of the stores were closed, and one of the the large store areas got turned into this kids sports party central thing.
Ooh.
They had a basketball court and a turf field for flag football and or soccer with netting all around. It was weird. Not gonna lie, it was weird, but it was sufficient for the kids.
You know,
This is not a pickleball court. No, I'm kidding. I don't really care about pickleball, though the sound is annoying.
I've never played pickleball, but I hear it's all the rage.
Oh, you hear it. You hear it. And yes, it is all the rage. But don't talk about pickleball around serious tennis players because they get all kinds of like up in their feelings.
Hey, for us uncoordinated people who don't want to run a lot, it might be the perfect sport.
This is true. This is true.
Say.
This is very true.
They should not be gatekeepers. They should be excited that we're all participating in some kind of athletic activity.
Very true. Not gonna lie. Quite
And
true.
that's my soapbox for the day. I'll go back to being negative now.
So this is probably one of the last times we're going to talk about this gentleman, but we're going to have to speak slightly about this, and it revolves around a Netflix TV show that was phenomenal in the first season. They are making a second season, and that's it. And what I'm talking about is Sandman. The volume 1 of Sandman, they're doing it in 2 different volumes. Volume 1 is coming out July 3rd, so basically in a month or a little less than a month. And that, of course, is going to be 6 episodes. And then Volume 2 is going to be July 24th, and that's going to be the final 5. So the showrunner was asked about were the allegations surrounding the individual behind Sandman one of the reasons why they were only going to do 2 seasons, and they said that the decision was made 3 years ago, that it would only be 2 seasons. So lots of different versions of what season 2 could have been were talked about. There were some volumes where he just appears in 2 scenes, which is Dream. But so the allegations and all that crazy stuff did not have a direct impact on Sandman. But to be honest with you, if you saw how much it cost to make an episode of Sandman, because those were not easy, simplistic sets.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes to the question of, okay, say it's Sandman,
Yep.
which I'm sure has enough material to go on for seasons, right?
Yep.
Or now you look at something like Wheel of Time,
Mm-hmm.
where the third and probably inarguably, to be honest, the best season of Wheel of Time has now been canceled after that. And of course, they anticipate another season. So cliffhanger, yada, yada, yada. So it's, the age-old trick of, do you want a particularly prestige television to end with kind of a complete closure, or do you just make seasons praying that there's going to be a next one with absolutely no guarantee that there's going to be, and then 90% of them get the axe anyway before you can come to a proper conclusion, and you never actually get closure?
Yeah, you got to think about like all the TV shows that you've watched in our life, and then how many got to actually have that, the final curtain drop when it's supposed to happen, and not, oh, by the way, we're not doing this anymore. For better or for worse, there's definitely some TV shows out there that did get to do their final curtain call, but they fumbled the ending. And then there's those that, they did it in style, and you're like, all right. And you're thirsty for more, but you understand that this is a good stopping point.
I feel like, have you finished Expanse yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm still in season 4. For those of you out there who don't know, I did that mad sprint of watching the first 3 seasons because it was leaving Amazon Prime. And then I think I did too many back-to-back episodes that I kind of drained myself from it. So I needed like a palate cleanser. And
Yeah.
then, of course, if you know me at all, I could sometimes go down anime rabbit holes and like bounce between, I don't know, like 20 different series because most of these fucking seasons are only 8 to 12 episodes. And so they're done in a blink, and I'm thirsty for more. And so I've got to, I just jumped to the next one. So I just haven't rotated back to The Expanse.
That's fair.
Although
Yeah,
I did,
it's definitely worth finishing.
huh?
It's definitely worth finishing. I think it actually gets
Okay.
better.
I did. Now, of course, for those of you who are patrons of Ultra Confusion, you do know that that y'all still have early access to The Expanse, the Telltale series. Though that one is about to go public, and the patrons will have first run of a game called Tacoma, which is it's another space game. You are sent on a kind of like a collection mission to this space station to see basically what went wrong. Because shit went wrong, and I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to spoil it, but it was a very interesting game. It is a very short game, which was kind of surprising because I thought there definitely could have been more story, but it was well done.
There you go.
Okay. Let us now talk about. Now this is the next topic that that's come across our desk has to deal with Monster Hunter Wilds. And this has actually become, it's not just a Monster Hunter Wilds type of situation or scenario. There's lots of games out there that have basically unreleased content that if you are, hacker savvy, you can get your hands on. And this apparently has become quite the problem with Monster Hunter Wilds. And so they are the Capcom, the company, the publisher behind Monster Hunter Wilds, is now implementing a suspension program where if you are caught with unreleased content, your account is suspended. There's also a feature to help Capcom out, where players can now report cheaters in through the person's hunter profile to try to clean up because the thing is, if you have access to unreleased content, that means that you might be able to have some Uber stuff that not everyone else has. So you got an unfair advantage, and so they don't want that to be the case. So now you, as the player, can help them out and report individuals who you think are cheating. Now, Capcom does want to say that it's not, they will investigate. They're not going to do what certain companies do, which immediately is like, oh, if someone says that this person's cheating, then they've got to be cheating, so we're just going to clamp down their account. No, they're actually going to do some due diligence and make sure that, maybe a weapon looked weird to a player, or maybe it's the first time that player has seen that weapon, but it is a weapon that can be obtained later in the game. So that person's not actually cheating.
I don't know. I think they should just ban Hammer because I'm sure it would not be abused and people would not do any false.
Of course not.
Things
of
going on.
Course not. What could possibly go wrong with an online game where you have a self-reporting tool and you just have to take all the gamers at their word?
That's never an issue.
Never an issue.
It actually reminds me of back when physical discs were a big deal.
Yeah.
And you'd buy a physical disc. It would actually come with DLC on the disc that you had to purchase to unlock.
Yep.
I mean, we haven't seen that in years for obvious reasons, but there was a time, I think particularly around the Xbox 360 era, where that was a pretty common thing.
Yep. Oh man. Yeah, that was some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Some real fun stuff.
Yep. We love fun in video games.
Oh yeah. I think that some of the discs that had that unreleased or had that DLC that you had to pay for,
yep,
that those were also, some of those games were also the ones that didn't always read right in your CD drive, and so you couldn't actually play the game, period, until they released a patch to fix the fact that your CD was not completely readable because it has hidden data.
And then you'd go get some toothpaste and put it on your disc to see if you could fix the scratches.
Of course. What else are you supposed to do?
I don't know. I remember having you go to I remember it was a big deal, and they used to sell in the record stores.
Yeah,
like CD repair kits.
Oh, my family had those.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was like this, it made the most. It looked like some kind of special Windex solution that you would spray on it. Then you'd put it in this thing that had like the salad spinner top, and it basically just like squished the liquid into the cracks, and then you just had to pray that it actually did something, like fix the disc and not make it completely unreadable.
Completely.
I mean, come on. Who wants a disc that's easily readable 24/7? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Is it asking too much? I don't know. Depends who you ask.
Who knows? So there is an anime out there that I've talked about many, many times. One, because of its just sheer length and volume. That, of course, is One Piece. And, of course, Netflix is doing their live action. The first season of live action is out, of course. The second season, unfortunately, will not be out until 2026.
So long.
But they did do a character reveal recently. The doctor of the Straw Hat Gang, or the Straw Hat Pirates, whatever you want to call them, Tony Chopper. They actually showed what he is going to look like. He is completely CGI, because he is basically a reindeer, a man reindeer, or a boy. It looks like a boy, though. When he takes his medicine, he can kind of change shapes. If you haven't seen the anime, that probably is really confusing, but I promise you, that's what he does.
I'll take your word for it.
And he's this cutesy kind of bashful character, and it's one of my youngest son's favorite characters of the Straw Hat crew. So
nice.
But also surrounding One Piece is the fact that we mentioned this a little bit earlier, a couple episodes before. Lego and One Piece were doing a collaboration. Lego has now revealed 7 of the One Piece sets, and I have to admit that one of the sets is the Going Merry, which is their first pirate ship. It is, let me make sure I get the right thing here. It is, come on, I just saw 1,376 pieces. It looks awesome, and it definitely would be one of those things that I would love to build myself. Though if I were to buy this set, I'm sure that my boys would be like, "Dad, I want to help."
Which one?
The Going Merry. So hold on, Zealeus.
The one, yeah. No, because I saw the big one, which is the floating restaurant. Looks epic.
Yes, it does. I mean, they all look great.
They do, yes. No, I mean, it's one thing you could say about Lego is their quality of their product is top notch. They're going to put out a good product.
Yeah.
And I mean, Legos have never been cheap, so it's not like the price should be too much of a shock, to be honest.
Barati is the name of the restaurant.
Barati, okay. Yeah, I knew I was going to butcher if I tried saying it.
One piece of Lego, worst Christmas ever. This is true. If you had one Lego piece for Christmas, that would be the worst.
One Lego piece to rule them all.
A box that looks absolutely sweet, but inside is a single Lego piece. And it's not one of like the really cool pieces. It's one of like the mundane ones that you're going to lose immediately if you just take your eyes off it until you step on it.
So it's kind of like the year my dad did a big box that looked like it was jewelry for my mom, and turned out to be a toothbrush. Yeah. She was not impressed.
Or, you know,
it was a nice toothbrush, to be fair.
Yeah.
She was still not impressed.
It's like that meme of the kid thinking that he got a gaming console and it's filled with socks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or the Nintendo Switch, and it's actually just a light switch.
Or a Toyota, which isn't just a toy figurine of Yoda from Star Wars.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would get, I probably won't go out of my way to get these, but they are going to be released August the 1st, and they are available for pre-order right now. So if you want to get in on it, and make sure that you get one of those sets, go for it.
Yeah, it does always worry me, though, and there's such a long time between seasons, going back to One Piece, because that was one of the issues with Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
There was like so long between season 2 and 3 of Wheel of Time that people just like forgot it existed, or like, what happened? I don't remember. And I mean, I know we can all say One Piece has a cult following. Well, by God, Wheel of Time does also. So that definitely already played an impact to their viewership, but yeah, that's always an issue with TV shows.
Yeah.
You lose that momentum a bit.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alta Confusion be the Alta Confusion that you love and adore. That, of course, is the friends of the show. Without further ado, let us start it off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself. That, of course, is Noodleboy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodleboy Media, previously White Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to those in the Atlanta area who have those aches and pains from maybe sitting in front of a computer too much or maybe gaming a little too much. That, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible and, most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, and that, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alta Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to the original patron of Ultra Confusion on Patreon. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, I know at this very moment in time, ladies and gentlemen, that you are wondering, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, it's quite simple. And I will tell you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and that's why we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, swamp creatures, mummies, vampires, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Currently, we have 2 tiers. We have the $1 tier, that's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you access to is the early access of all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little extra frisky, you can pop that up to the $5 a month, that's $5 a month or $60 a year tier, and that gets you everything at the $1 tier, but it also gets your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Altered Confusion, go to Patreon, that's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. Sorry, I'm getting like tongue-tied. Okay. One more shout out and then we'll get back into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion is proud to say that we have fundraised for Extra Life for 14 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best. Game. To help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. Okay. Let's jump back into it. If you'll, I apologize. I need to just like stretch my back out a little bit. I think I hurt myself. Not during the show. Don't worry.
I mean, I was like worried that you talked and
I talked too aggressively and now I can't feel my back.
Well, if you don't feel your back, then it can't hurt.
By the way, I am wearing an Extra Life t-shirt. This was the 10-year anniversary t-shirt for Extra Life. Nice. So, how could I forget? Speaking of t-shirts, well, it's not actually a t-shirt, but ladies and gentlemen, if you are curious about how to get some sweet Alter Confusion swag or merch, I have the hookup for you. All you got to do is go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch. That's MERCH. And you too can own perhaps an Alter Confusion hat or an Alter Confusion coffee mug. Or perhaps you want one of these beautiful Alter Confusion vinyl stickers. Like so. These I totally have to give props to however they make these stickers. They are built to last. I've had one on the back of my car for, how long has it been now? 4.5 years. And that bad boy still looks brand spanking new. So it actually looks better than some of like the other stickers that I have on the back of my car that are supposed to be like of the best of the best. So at bare minimum, you should get an Alter Confusion sticker.
Got the best of the best.
It's the best of the best of the best, baby. Okay. Let us move on. Okay, so there was a question that I was asked, and I want Zealeus' opinion on this, and also anybody in the audience, they can chime in as well. There, of course, is always this want to maybe motivate individuals who are hard to motivate, so they try to use this thing called gamification. And one of the things that I've seen a lot of ads for recently is gamification for like chores. So my question for you, Zealeus, and for everyone out there is, would you even like dabble with that? Or is that something you're just like, nah, I could do this on my own. I don't need that type of motivation.
I've actually downloaded those. The problem is they all require subscriptions.
Yes, but that's true. Yeah.
So, yes, I've been intrigued actually. Because I'm like, oh, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
I think I actually have like 2 installed. I just haven't got past like day 1 because it's like, it's a X amount of subscription a year. So I'm like, well, there goes my gamification fund.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way, the premise of it, yes, does intrigue me. But I just don't feel like paying for it is what it comes down to. I really don't have a better answer to that. I mean, maybe if I got like a month demo or something instead of like 3 days, I might be more interested. Like after a month, be like, does this something that actually keeps me going?
Right.
That might make a difference, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah, I too, I've dabbled a couple times with like apps to like help you build a to-do list, and of course there's an RPG element. You complete these, but the problem is that a lot of these apps have like, you have to put some sort of like, is this a tough task for you to complete?
Yeah.
And then you get all of your, the tougher, the more difficult the task, the more points you get. So I'm like, why the fuck would I say, I don't know, pick up around my desk? Why would I say it's a simple task? It's of course going to be the most difficult thing in the world.
Like I feel like they almost put like too much work into upfront effort, if that makes sense. It's about like, it's like the anti-Mario, right? Like one of the things that was great about the OG Mario, there's no instructions, right?
Yeah.
You just know, oh, I press the D-pad, oh, I move. I press the button, I jump. Like it required minimal input. Whereas I feel like these apps I've tried, the two I mentioned there, I had them still on my phone, Pinch and Smoothie. It's like that upfront work. I'm like, just give me a template of a single person in my 40s should honestly already exist. It should just be there.
Right.
Like, and boom, okay, here, try this. And then you're right. If you don't like how it's working, then I can modify sliders and whatnot.
Right.
But the shows just be like, here's a template, or you're the other way around. Like you're mid-40s, married. Boom, different template for you. Problem solved. We have two different inputs because I'm not going to take care of kids, but still it can be adjusted as needed.
Right.
So that's my biggest complaint to them is it's like, it takes the gamification fun out when I have to go through all these prompts. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
I kind of feel like, for me, the app that I most recently downloaded is something called Focus Hero, and it basically,
you're the hero of your own video game.
It gives you like 6 areas that you want to improve on, be it like study, work. There's a relax option. There's a reading option, all that stuff. And then you set a timer and you get points and for, basically taking the time to do that. But to be honest with you, I still need someone to give me a kick in the pants for me to actually set that timer.
I was going to say, to me, that's one of the problems is I'm usually doing these apps because the answer, to be blunt, is I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Like, I know my life could be better, but I just don't know how.
Yeah.
And when I see these 6 different areas, I'm like, they all sound good. I don't know what to choose, man.
Well,
I think
for me, it's like, should I set this for an hour? And then there's times where like the timer will go off. I'm like, well, shit, that was really fast. And there's other times where I'm just constantly, whatever I've set the timer for, I completed a lot faster, and now I'm just staring at the timer going, well, I could kind of dick around for a bit, and I'm just staring at the timer. I'm not actually doing anything.
Yeah. So, I just feel like, for me, they just haven't hit that niche that I needed. That's just me. I get what they're trying to do, and if they work for people, fantastic. Just haven't worked for me.
I think, to be honest with you, if I had the money, I'd probably just have, I would spend it on an actual, like, physical assistant to just make sure that I'm doing my shit.
Honestly, instead of doing that, I would just get a maid to come once a month.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that's, if I felt like paying the subscription, I'd be like, screw it, I'm doing that. I guess the problem is I got to clean my house first so somebody can come in, because I know we were all traumatized as children, where before somebody came, be like, now clean your room before the maid comes. You're like, why am I cleaning my room before they come? That defeats the entire purpose.
Yeah, don't even start with me. Cleaning so that the cleaning people can show up.
Yep. I know. We were there. That was the world we're raised in, and still, that's why I don't have one probably now. It's traumatized me.
Yeah.
I'm afraid like I'm going to hire one, and they're going to come. They'd be like, "Sorry, your house has to be cleaner for me to clean."
This is too much. Too much.
Yes.
Or you get the clean. I know we're going on a tangent here, but you get the cleaning people that only do certain cleaning.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they won't dust all the surfaces in your house. They'll just like vacuum the floors and maybe like wipe down your mirrors and clean up, scrub your toilet and your bathtub and your sink. But they're not going to like dust your bookshelves and all that other stuff that would probably be nice to have cleaned as well.
So you're saying it's like a DLC where you have to pay for upgrades to get the better service.
It's like playing a subscription game where there are tiered subscriptions. If you want the full thing, it's a higher tier than the introductory tier.
But in theory, it would actually benefit your life in a concrete material way.
Yeah.
If you're not too stressed out about the whole pre-cleaning for the cleaning part.
Goddamn stupid pre-cleaning for cleaning.
You mean I can't just shove it all in the closet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I know that we talked about the GameStop pre-orders for the Switch 2, but I did want to bring. I was just given a link texted to my phone, and I think this is pretty fucking cool. So on the opposite side, GameStop they're stapling the receipts and damaging the screens, but on the flip side, if you pre-ordered Wal-Mart. From Walmart, it apparently is like freebies. Walmart has surprised Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order customers with free snacks like Pringles and Coca-Cola. They just decided here it's bundled in. Ta-da! I like free stuff.
I mean, I get it because you're spending a $450 on a device, and like. I know to Walmart that's probably costing like less than $1 to attach a Pringles or a Coke in there, right? But at the same time, there's 100% the mental part of it. Whereas a customer, now, if I get that little freebie, that's sure less than $1 from Walmart. When I go shopping next time, guess where my first inclination is going to be to actually go?
Oh, yeah, Walmart.
It's going to be Walmart. So, like, I totally get it from a marketing perspective. It makes perfect sense to me to give a nice little freebie because to me, that's more effective than any advertising I'll ever see on my screen.
Yep. Okay, God dang it. Sorry. I just clicked on another link and now it's asked, do you want to subscribe? No, I don't want to subscribe. I just want to read the damn thing.
Would you like to subscribe to more news about Walmart Switch 2 pre?
Do you want to be in the loop about this page that you're never going to go back to? No, I don't. No, not at all. Thank you. No.
By the way, just a FYI.
Yes.
There is less than 24 hours left in the Kickstarter for Mr. Craig Campbell for Slay to Win.
Yes, and if you have not already committed to this, backed it, you need to do it. It has successfully hit its goal. I, of course, I backed it like weeks ago. But if you haven't already, then you should definitely jump in on this. It looks pretty dang sweet. And it's been killing me that there's been a couple times that Craig's asked me to come play the game, but my schedule just has not lined up. So I haven't gotten a chance to get my hands on the physical edition of the game. Just a heads up for those out there who give two flips. you have until June 30th to play Madden NFL 21 online, and then they shut down the servers.
Oh,
And they're
no.
also going to shut down the servers for Madden NFL 22 in October. So
Oh, dear.
they're shutting everything down. The new face of the Madden game is Saquon Barkley with his crazy-ass reverse spin jump. And now, of course, everyone is just waiting to see if the Madden curse kicks in for Saquon.
I think there will be, because the whole issue with the running back deal has been they hit that age of 30 and they fall off a cliff.
Yep.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, he was great this season, but I think he's going to kind of fall off a cliff next year, just because that's what happens to running backs.
I'll be very interested to see.
Yeah, that's just my two takes. Obviously my nice little pundit sitting here where actually has no impact on reality. And plus they won the Super Bowl. So it's like, there's always that issue of how hungry are you the second season after a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
So we shall see. And I'm trying to remember, looking at the cover, I couldn't remember who is it that he actually hurdled? Because that kind of lives in infamy too.
Yeah, I don't remember. I would have to look it up. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely deserving. I mean, heck yeah. Especially that moment. More power to him.
Okay, finally, there's one more bit of news. That is, of course, that the current Doctor of Doctor Who is bowing out after 2 seasons. No word on who the official next Doctor will be, but apparently they're going to have a special that I think is, I swear to God, I don't know if I've heard right, but it sounds like David Tennant's coming back again for like a quick stopgap.
So here's the problem, right?
Yes.
So Facebook, right? I still use Facebook because I'm old. The problem I'm actually like literally running into is so many of these like TV and movie like posts are fake AI.
Yes.
Well, I no longer know what's actually real. Like, it actually is making me want to stop. Like, it's so much advertising. It's dumb. The advertising itself on Facebook honestly doesn't bother me, or like random community posts, like whatever. I could skip over them, and some of them are actually interesting.
Yeah.
But it's like in the last month or two, they become so many fake movie and TV posts. Right? I'm like, because I think I saw the same thing where like Tennant and Billy Piper are coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that'd be cool, but that sounds like fake AI. So I don't actually fucking know.
Yep.
So that's more than anything else I hate on Facebook now is I have no idea what's real.
Agreed. I don't know.
It's like, the only one where I do know is fake. The ones that do amuse me, where it's like the action movies coming in 2025, and it's either The Rock or Jason Statham with like an 18 pack now, and like some female like Anna de Armas or somebody else with like their own 18 pack, half naked, sitting on the front. I'm like, okay.
Yep. Nope.
It's just, but that's like all it is now. It's like it somehow actually got worse, which is pretty low bar, but it has got worse.
Yes, AI is everywhere, for better, for not so good. But let me just say this once again. AI is not the next evolution. It is not the fix all. It is a tool in your toolkit that you can utilize. But depending solely on AI is going to screw you over so bad if you're not careful. And that's my 2 cents. And I would love to go more into that, but legally I can't speak about it.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm not saying anything either.
So, anyways.
Yeah, I just. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, So we work in technology roles where AI does, like Charlie said, for better or for worse, play a role in our jobs.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah.
What I will say, which I don't think there's AI absolutely is having an impact, I would argue, negatively on the job market. I'm not saying for those of us who are currently employed in our jobs, but the problem I'm seeing is, I'm not job searching. I left my job, but if you do look at job boards, because everyone looks at job boards, that's what you do, right? Like, what's going on in the world? The market sucks. And the problem is you lay somebody off, and this is just all companies. It doesn't matter if they're tech or what the industry is. They lay them off, and it could be like, oh, we laid a nurse off today. We can have AI pipette their morphine drip, right? It's the same thing. We don't need a nurse to actually do it. So it's like all different industries. Like this is a thing that is happening. And I think Charlie would agree is we still need a person somewhere along the line.
Yep.
To help manage this AI. Because you're right. Like, so in the case of a nurse, AI can be useful to like help, know what that dosage is for like a morphine drip, for instance, to help like, okay, here's their BMI, here's their weight, here's a surgery. Okay, here's what the morphine drip is. But the, nurse should still be able to know that didn't calculate correctly at like, be able to look at it. So that's where you still need that human interaction, I think, for any role that's using AI.
Yes, there needs to be a safeguard dummy check with an actual human involved.
Yep.
By the way, real quick, I know that we're basically out of time, but once again, we're going back to Switch 2 just for a second. One of the beautiful things about the Switch 2 is the backwards compatibility. There is a major bug right now. If you play the Smash Brothers Ultimate, which is the Switch 1 game, if you play it on the Switch 2, do not use any of your Mii fighters. It will break the game. Nintendo's working on the patch right now, but there's a nasty bug that will cause the game to crash if you use your Mii fighter.
That's a pretty big bug.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the Mii fighters is they're all custom looking. Yeah. So that I can understand that maybe they didn't have all the different variations, and so maybe that's probably they probably spent most of their time on the actual character roster. Because the other thing is you don't know how many Mii fighters you have.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, all right. So ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we've reached the end of our show. So without further ado, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultimate Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure getting ready to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultimate Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.